Thank you for tuning in to the Bibles in Schools podcast. Through Bibles in Schools, we've donated thousands of Bibles to public school libraries, juvenile detention centers, and educational facilities across the U.S. Let's open a new chapter and dive into today's episode. Hey. We are so glad that you joined us today on the Bibles in Schools podcast. And I'm excited today to have someone on our podcast that's actually from the area in which I live, and his name is Scott. And so, Scott, let's just start off how I always start off. How did you hear about Bibles in Schools?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think I'd heard about it, and my wife had talked about it, and I'd heard different people talk about it. And then one day you walked up to me in church because you knew my wife, and you said, "How about putting some Bibles in your schools?" And absolutely. It's something that I need to do. I want to do as much as I can. I'm the coordinator of alternative programs. I have lots of different programs throughout the county, but specifically for this middle school age program, because I control the library. I control what goes in and out of there.
Yeah, and so I knew your wife. I saw you at church, and it's kind of the perfect example. You don't know until you ask. The worst thing is someone's going to say no, that they won't help you. But you said yes, and I was excited about that. And I think it's just a good example of, hey, if you go to church with people that work in the school system near you, just ask if they would help out. And you did. And then I didn't see you for a couple of months at church, and just recently saw you and got so excited to see you again because I wanted to know, how did it go? But before we get to that, I really want people to know the kind of schools that you work with. So you are in the public school system, but you work with, tell them what kind of...
Sure. I have all the alternative programs for Chesterfield County. We have a very large county, but we don't have many alternative programs yet. Specifically, we put the Bibles into a middle school program for overaged eighth graders. They've been retained at least once, many of them twice. Many of the students are Hispanic who came to this country, couldn't speak the English, and just got retained for that reason. And others, struggled for different reasons. Many of our kids have a very difficult home life. The world is a very dark place. And they are constantly influenced through social media and other things with sin, and Satan just has such a huge impact on what these kids see every day. And it's difficult to overcome that. And I have to walk a very difficult line with what I can say and what I can do. I can talk about Jesus if I'm asked a specific question, but unless I'm asked a specific question, I have to be very careful about what I say and who I'm talking to. So it's bringing the Bibles into the schools allows that to jumpstart that conversation. And just, when I see a kid that has pulled that from the library. But we have kids that are homeless, kids that live in motels, and they change hotels, often. We have foster kids. We have students whose parents has lost a parent, and then they've moved in with a new boyfriend or girlfriend, and now they're living in a home that they never thought of, and awful things happen in these homes. Last year we had a girl that was raped in a situation like that by a neighbor who had gotten her drunk. It's just a very difficult place, but that's why I'm here. That's what God called me to do. And so I'm excited about this. I have I have a program for all the kids that have been long-term suspended. And these are kids that have just incredibly difficult lives, and they act out because their needs aren't being met. So I meet with them at night, and just have a chance to sit down and talk to each of them and get to know them. And then as these middle school kids and these high school kids, as they leave these programs, we follow up with them, and I see them at least once a quarter. We go back to their home high schools, and I connect with them and make sure they're doing okay, see what needs can be met. I have adult programs as well. And the library where the middle school program is, where I place the Bibles, that has probably about 600 adults that walk through that building every night, taking ESL classes, taking workforce classes, taking GED classes. And I always tell all of them, I said, you want a book, take a book. The books are here for you, because, I do have a grant budget that allows me to buy books, so that, putting these Bibles there is just another opportunity for them to disappear.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So you said your students, they had long-term suspension. Can you explain that to us to tell us what that?
So when the behavior becomes so egregious, whether it's multiple drug offenses, multiple violent offenses, or some very significant single events that happen, kids are removed from the school. We're required to educate them in the public school system. So we have these different programs. This one specifically, where they can meet virtually or in person, and we kind of facilitate that connect. We allow them to stay enrolled in their home high school so they keep that connection. We're not ripping that connection away from them to their teachers in that home school, and those teachers assign work, and I employ people that help them complete that work and talk to them and connect with them and just try to help them through that time. Sometimes it's 45 days, sometimes it's a year, it's in a few cases it's been multiple years, because and for some of these kids this is the only way they've been successful, because my facilitators are great people, they do great work, and they connect with these kids, and going back to the home high school is going to lead to just more of the same, so they stay with us at night and work with our connections facilitators.
So they usually, oh, you said they're virtually, or they can come to y'all's location at nighttime.
Right, it's not a central location, so it's difficult for some people to get there, and
Yeah,
some others just prefer to be virtual.
right. But they have that more one-on-one connection with a teacher and really can get that attention that they need and the help.
We are in a relationship business, and it's all about relationships. Whether you got a classroom of 30 kids or you're working one-on-one, it's a relationship business, and the kids don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is like the last, last option, these alternative, these type of schools. And so
Hmm.
it's a really important, hopefully turning the corner to help them turn the corner.
Yeah, and in the middle school program specifically, we teach content, but most of what we teach is how to do school and how to interact with people and how to behave yourself socially and how we speak socially and how we treat people in social situations. We teach a set of skills that we do throughout the year, and it starts with healthy relationships, talking about what healthy relationships look like, how we treat one another, how we talk to one another, because most of these kids have never seen a true healthy relationship. And then we talk about stress management, and that leads us into discussions of self-regulation. And that's really a turning point in the school year. That happens late October, beginning of November, where they begin to understand, I can control my emotions, I can control comes out of my mouth, I can control how I react to things. And when I think through this, I have better results.
Right.
And then we go into self-awareness and then empathy. So many of these kids don't know what empathy is. It's never been demonstrated for them. It's never been told to them that this is something that you should try to achieve, or maybe that's the wrong word, but emulate. You should start to have empathy for people, and then that's another turning point that happens around Thanksgiving, and then empathy and self-awareness. Oh, I'm missing one. And then there's another skill that we teach after that.
Yeah.
Um, just helping these kids build these habits of success, we call them, that allow them to grow and flourish. And that's what we provide these kids,
Yeah.
social skills and how to do school. Because once they learn that, and we show them in the class, this is how you do it, this is how you do it, they begin that academic confidence in their academic abilities, and then you just see them accelerate, and they do a great job of it.
Yeah.
It's neat to
Yeah.
go to high schools the next year or the next quarter for some of these kids, and just connect with them and see how they're doing. They're so excited to see us because we told them from the day you walked in, I tell them, welcome to our family. You
Oh,
are loved. And no matter what happens during the school year, because they're not angels, but no matter what happens in the school year, I assure them I'll always treat you with love and respect. And I always do, and they know that. And when they see us the next year or 2 years later, they're excited to see us because they know that we care about them.
yeah. You care, and like you said, you don't just say it, but you show it. And students, they always can point out. They know when you're real and when you're fake, and
Yep.
you can't hide with them. Especially with students who've been through a lot in their life. They
Yep. A lot of trauma. We deal with a lot of trauma.
Yeah. And so just your position and who works with you really it is an awesome way to make a big difference in students' lives, and it's just so cool to hear that y'all continue with them and keep up with them and check on them. And yeah, so when you got these action Bibles and you donated it to this middle school library, what happened? How did the students respond to it?
So, it's not only the students who live in darkness, but it's also the teachers. Many of them live in darkness. I wasn't sure how this was going to play out, and I was a little nervous. So I labeled them like they're every other book, and I put them on the shelf, and I just kind of stood back and waited to see what would happen. We do have a former youth pastor in our on our staff, so I kind of told him, and I said, keep an eye on these because he's also an English teacher. And
Okay.
then nothing happened for the first week or 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, all right. But then all of a sudden they started disappearing. Boom, boom. Those Hispanic versions disappeared. I didn't see them again until the last day of school. They came back. I was disappointed to see them come back. The Action Bibles too. I think I had one by the time we got to, about a month in, from them putting them on the shelf. The heroes and villains would come and go, but the NIV Bibles, the Action Bibles, and the Hispanic Bibles, they were scooped up, and I only had one on the shelf by the end, and I kept waiting for that one to disappear. But then because we've trained these kids so well, we treated them so well, they thought they had to bring them back. So
Oh,
at school, when we had a celebration for everybody, before I let them leave, I said, "Look, if you brought back a book and you want that book, go get that book before you leave." And some of them did. Some of
yeah.
them did. Not everyone grabbed one because it is a public school, and kids are worried about who says what to them. So I think some of them are maybe afraid to do that in front of everyone, but some of them did. You
Yeah.
know.
And when they so some of them stay a couple years, so some of them will be coming back.
So the middle school program is a 1 year program.
Okay, so they
Give
will
them, we give them during this year we give them the opportunity to earn 5 high school credits. So they earn all 5 of those credits. They can graduate within 3 years of leaving us, and some of them graduate within 2 years of leaving us. Um, so it's a 1 year program. So I have a very short window in
yeah.
all of my programs. So the middle school program, I got a full year to make an impact with them, and then the long-term suspended programs and the night school programs, I've got a small window of time, sometimes 45 days, sometimes a little less, to connect with these kids and help show them the light, I guess, and then
Yeah.
hope I spark that interest where they dig more.
Yeah, and then hopefully when they go to their next school, those action Bibles will be in that library and they'll go check it out. But you know what is cool is that I think we donated almost like 20, we donated multiple copies. So everyone that's listening, this is like at least 20 kids, and then people they return it and then someone else checks it out. This is, and we donated to y'all in February of this year, so it
Yeah,
was only a couple months that they were in the library.
so I'm
So
excited about this year because they're going to get it from the start.
right. Yeah. So I can't wait to hear stories of how God's going to use these action Bibles in your school this year, because once one student checks it out, they start seeing each other, reading it, and then conversations are going to start. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens this
Yeah, I've
year.
got a large Hispanic population, and I know that they read it, and I can't hear those conversations, but they know who I am.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to put those on the shelf, and we're going to send y'all more. I mean, it really, I tell people all the time, it is about who you know. It helps to know people that are in the education system to help us get it on the shelves. And just as you're proving, they did, they checked it out and they didn't bring it back for months. Students want to read the Bible, and having it in this cool format is just, it gravitates them in. And I'm sure a lot of your students aren't the best readers. So,
All of them, every single one of them is either an English learner or has low reading skills.
right. So these are the perfect, it's just the perfect, you have the
Graphic,
best-selling
graphic
book
novels.
and the
Yep.
graphic novel. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I can't wait to, just see you at church again and just,
Yeah.
hey, any more stories and we'll keep sharing them because, these students have been through so much in their life. Some of them, aren't even I guess they're 13,
They're
14.
14, 15. We don't admit anyone that's already 16. But in this
Okay.
middle school program, they're 14 and 15 years old. They've already been retained at least once.
Yeah, so 14 or 15, they've been through very traumatic past or going through traumatic things in their life. And what better way to have a Bible, action Bible on the shelf for them to start reading and sharing that there is a hope and there's a future. And also, like you were saying, you'll have to teach them social skills. Well, the Bible also teaches things that we all need to know. That just think of the Ten Commandments. You should not steal, you should not murder, you should honor thy father and mother. These are all things that need to be taught in order for people to know. Um, so
If we're
it's,
ever going to turn this world around, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and Jesus is the answer. And so just thank you
Yeah.
so much, Scott, and for what you do.
Oh,
And
yeah.
thanks for sharing today.
This is what I've been called to do. So I just try to do the best I can every day.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you at church soon.
Yeah.
Bye
Take care.
bye.
Bye.